Welcome to another edition to Motivational Sundays with Kevin and friends. And believe it or not, today's a very special day. It is Dr. Stan, Dr. Breakthrough's birthday today. So we want to say happy birthday to you. Hopefully you enjoy this, and hopefully the show will take you from where you are to where you want to be, at least not physically, but more emotionally. So welcome to Motivational Sundays. This episode is brought to you by RMK Productions and the 10 United Podcast Network. The mission of our story is to uplift you through the power of your voice, inspire, share stories and experience. But today we're just talking about quotes. We meet every Sunday at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we challenge based on perspective, unpack the meaning of a quote, and create a space for personal growth. This week's quote I'll give you before I'll go on. Let me introduce you to all of our guests because we got a full house today. We have Gilda and Christopher James up there, the twins. You know, everyone got the memo today. We got Larness Kinsey, our co-host. We've got Dr. Karina Ferguson. Then we have Dr. Stan. I told you about his birthday. Robert, Brian Roberts, co-host. And then we have PJ Scott, and the voice of our show, Mr. Curtis Battles. And hi, my name is Kevin McLemore. I am the show host. And without any further ado, we're going to go ahead and introduce the quote. So, Otis, if you don't mind giving us a quote for today.
Absolutely. Grand Rising, everyone. Happy Sunday. And the quote is, let chaos be your classroom and peace your proof of concept.
All right, K Mac. I want to thank you for bringing up this quote. And matter of fact, this quote echoes in the back of my mind because when we did your interview on talking with Kevin and Son, this was one of my favorite quotes. You want to tell us how this quote landed on you?
Well, it's funny because I literally came up with the quote during that podcast interview. I'd not heard it anywhere else. And I think we had a pretty good conversation around it. It's a blessing because, good morning, everybody, by the way. When you start looking at chaos, a lot of times we try to avoid chaos in pursuit of peace, not realizing very often that it's that very chaos. It's like when life gets loud, that's when you and what's your gifts are get exposed. It comes to really show you what's already inside of you. It's not war. It's just kind of like, okay, this is the problem that you were created to solve. And so if you in the face of chaos can grasp it, can learn through it, can grow through it, then you can eventually get to the peace of the situation. And when you get to peace, that shows that you now have control over an environment that once controlled you. So you let chaos be the classroom. This is where you learn the strategies, the skills. You put it all together, and then peace is proof that the concept that you learned in chaos is actually working.
That's all right. That's all right. Our listeners, boy, you guys are in for it today when we talk about chaos and finding peace. And chaos does reveal what's needed to heal. And I want to change the way we do this show because someone asked me, do we ever ask our guests, because they were curious, how's different things about the quote. So I'm going to ask you, K-Mac, how do you usually react to chaos when it shows up in your life?
It really depends on the area. Because if it's chaos where my kids are concerned, it's a whole different reaction than when it's chaos where my money is concerned or where my business is concerned. So, like for chaos where my kids are concerned, yeah, I'll take somebody out. Chaos where my business and my money are concerned, I'm looking for the strategies to shape it. It's like, what am I missing? Perfect example. Dr. Stan and I were on a line the other day for several hours because several years ago, we created an account, a crypto account, put a little money in there, like maybe $1,000, $2,000. Well, here we are 5 years later, 4 years later, and I'm like, he's like, well, just go in your MetaMask. Like he's been saying this to me for months. Just go in your MetaMask. I'm like, there he goes again, trying to make me do stuff, right? Just go in there. So I go in there, and that money has morphed into like this large sum of money. So now the issue is, how do I get it out? Because I got some things I could use a large sum of money for. So we're going back and forth, and I'm like, I wanted to scream, I wanted to cuss, I wanted to do all of these things. But instead, I had to stop and look at what this really represented. It represented another area that for a long time has controlled me. Because I don't know about you guys, but crypto and me kind of like, I don't really want to, I don't even want to embrace it. But because I can read the times, I know I have to. So for me, this is chaos. Here's all this money in a place like crypto that I haven't wanted to embrace. Had I done it years ago, I mean, it could have like thrown me completely off. But instead, it was like, all right, we got to find somebody who understands it better than we do to teach us first how to get into this process. And then, secondly, how to work it out. So, after in the chaos of it, it was find a strategy, find a person, figure it out. We don't have time to get upset about it. We just have to move on it. And then afterward, there's a piece that says, okay, now you've got some time because you've cleared the chaos. You've got some time to literally go in here and understand. Because if it's a problem for me, it's a problem for somebody else too. And when you understand your mission, my mission, impact lives, solve problems, help people solve problems, that means I need to get the education, the understanding, so I can help other people and create peace in their lives as well. So that's kind of what chaos is for me. It's kind of like, do I really want to go? Here's a perfect example, another quote. When things go bad, don't go with them. When things go wrong, don't go with them. So we have to stay in a certain mindset, no matter what the chaos is, and ask this question: is this the hill you want to die on? Is it really even worth the battle? How hard do you want to fight for this? Is it worth it? Is it worth the relationship, the great relationship you once had with this person? Is it really worth your reputation? Does it pass the headline test? Katrina Ferguson did X, Y, and Z. Is that okay? Do I want people? Because if it doesn't pass those things, then it is an affront on my character and my integrity, and I can't be a part of it. So sometimes that will happen too. You just have to step away. The
All
key
right,
is
great.
to maintain your mindset so that you can be clear about what the next steps are.
All right. You even gave us a takeaway on that. And ladies and gentlemen, I also want to apologize to one of my co-hosts because I failed to mention Mr. Naheem Garcia, our thespian, when he stepped in the room. Just one of those days we came back over here for myself. So Naheem, please accept my apology. I'm going to throw this quote over to Mr. Curtis Battle, CB. How you doing, brother?
Happy Sunday to all. It's pleased to join you all and get this breath of fresh air to start my Sunday morning. So this, I'm going to build upon the good doctor who just sang, and this is about mindset. So the chaos to me, as an entrepreneur, is like being in a tornado. There's something always whipping around you. There's always some place, and are you going to get thrown out? And land, and is it going to be like Dorothy and land in the Oz, or are you going to be able to tame it enough to step out and go into what the the victory that is waiting on the other side of that chaos? Are you able to keep your mind focused on the one or two things that you really need to accomplish, or are you going to be scattered? Just like all the items when it goes through a town and tears down houses and uproots lives. And so I think of it as being able to zone in and do only one thing at a time. We have learned over time that multitasking does not work. And trying to do A and B at the same time, you just split your attention and don't do either of them very well. So part of going through the chaos and getting to the other side is just being able to focus really clearly on the most important things at that moment in time. And that's how this landed on me.
All right, so we all know that we speak on the point of let chaos be your classroom, but what does peace look like for you? Look like to you today?
So peace is being able to, in the midst of trying times, being able to just step back for that few minutes or that day and be able to say, it's going to be okay. Because there's times when you're in the midst of the chaos that you just can't see a way out. And then there's a bright light that shines and a blessing comes your way and it helps take the pain or the trauma or the stress away from what you're thinking you can't get through. So that's to me is peace is sort of making it through to the other side It's not that there won't be another bit of chaos that will come up almost immediately, but you have resolved and solved for the thing that is on your heart at that moment in time.
All right, all right. And I appreciate that. I mean, we all know how to build a building to weather the storm, but when we're standing in the rain, um, what do we think about when the storm is just following us around every single day? How do we find shelter? Where do we find peace? I'm going to ask Otis, our voice of our show, to give the quote one more time, using that smooth, sexy voice of his. And then we're going to turn this over to PJ Scott to see how this quote lands on her. And
Let
we got
chaos be your classroom and peace your proof of concept.
PJ Scott.
Okay, I've got to write that down and get the whole thing. Proof of concept. So when I first heard that, I remembered what I got in meditation twice this week. And what I wrote in my journal was consider the uses of adversity. When fishermen can't go to sea, they repair their nets. And then as we were talking about it more, I remembered a story I think Emmett Fox wrote about an insurance executive many, many years ago. And his people would come to him with a problem and they were all upset. And he would just look at them and say, that's good. And then he taught them to figure out what's good about it. So it's one of those blessings in disguise. That's where that landed with me.
All
A
right.
couple of
Um,
places.
no, that was good. Where's chaotic moments? Do they shape you to make you better, or do they leave you trapped? Um,
Absolutely.
all
There,
right.
everything's good. And sometimes the way I explain it to clients, I teach universal law, and I tell them there's this big gap, and only 2 or 3% of us will become successful before because we're afraid to take that empty-handed leap into the void. We won't take a risk. So when things get bad, I know I'm being tested. Our faith is tested constantly. And I just say thank you for whatever for whatever's happening, even though it appears to be horrible. It's a redirect because we keep thinking we know it all. We think we're so smart and we keep going in this direction. And the universe, aka God, will nudge us just a little bit. If we keep insisting on going in the wrong direction, we'll get a little smack. Sometimes we get thrown into the void if that's what we want, and we all want to be successful. So when something bad happens, I say that's good, and then I set about to find out what's good about it, and it's always good. Every adversity is good.
We have a few people that have overcome some adversity, and if I let everyone tell a story, this would be a 4 or 5 hour show. I watched Eddie Murphy's Netflix special, whatever, which is pretty good. If you want to hear a great story about someone that's overcome some adversity and have a blessed life, between Eddie Murphy and Brian Roberts, their stories kind of mimic each other. Brian, how's this quote land on you?
Well, thank you, sir. I live for the chaos. I'm a little different than everyone else. I was blessed to come from a famous family, the Burrell family, but I didn't find this out until till I turned 12 years old because my dad was adopted. And the day that I met Elizabeth Burrell, I was told at that very day as I'm playing basketball with my cousin Bubby that if I hang out with Bubby, my father would kill me himself. And Bubby went on to become Kim Burrell's head of security. And it hit me in a place. So it took till my dad's funeral when Chester Burrell stands up and he's speaking about his uncle Will Rob and how he kept him from selling drugs at times when he would see him out and literally delivering insurance and that kind of thing. And I knew that about my father, and I was wondering why my father was so angry, but he really wasn't angry. He was trying to keep people out of trouble because he knew what his family really was. And so for me, I was always angry. And then when you take the E out of emotion, you just end up with motion. And so when I got saved, the beautiful thing about it was once I learned how to control that anger, once I learned how to harness that thing, believe it or not, Mr. Curtis Battles, I can do a multiplicity of things because I have a photographic memory. And so I just pin the different things that I do and erase the emotion from it. I mean, and once I erase the emotion from it, whether good or bad, and I need you to understand this, emotion kills deals. So if you're going to negotiate with someone, you just remove your emotion in that moment. And then guess what? You bring it back into play once you're done with that negotiation. And that has served me so well in my life. Dr. Schott, I have to pin on what you said because I am an example of what you're saying. Everything is good. So what I do, that's why I smile so much now because I'm like, it's the polar opposites. God is on one direction and the enemy is on the other direction. So when I was just angry and not understanding, that was the enemy fighting me. I mean, he was leading me. But when I literally see it as a polar opposite, when I went homeless, I said, I must be rich. I was homeless, but I must be rich. I'm sleeping on an air mattress, but I must be rich because the enemy wouldn't be messing with me like this if I was a nobody. I know I'm a somebody. And when I really started finding that out, it's so funny. I was homeless in '03, but my accountant was telling me to retire June of 2010. How does that happen if that ain't a miracle? But what I know to do is God is the man at the park. The Holy Spirit is the frisbee. Brian ain't nothing but the dog. You don't worship the dog because the dog is about to go right back to the master and say, throw it again. Just throw it again, master. Wherever you throw it, I'm on. I know you've been at the beach and watched that dog just jump so high. You're like, how did that red tail dog get up that high? Because the dog is not concerned with the object. The dog has his eye on what the master did. That's where my peace resides. Once I remove all that from the chaos that I see, I actually laugh when I see chaos, to be honest with you, because you're looking at a gentleman that wasn't afraid to die because I thought I was cursed. So now when I see it, that's why I jump because I'm like, this ain't gonna kill me. If you saw some of the stuff I saw, this ain't nothing. That's where it lands on me.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you've just been introduced to a masterclass of mastering chaos by mastering yourself. Thank you, Mr. Brian. All right, thank you, thank you. Hey, Gilda, how you doing? Quinn, sitting over there with your better half, dressed alike. I am so glad you got the memo this morning. Gilda, how does this quote land on you?
Yep. On me. How does it land on me? Grand Rising, everyone.
All right.
For a while. I got a cold going on.
Yes, she does.
But how it land on me? Let chaos teach you, and peace be your proof. That's what landed on me.
See, she
All right.
All
right.
That's
short and sweet as always. Hey, Chris, since you're so close to wisdom, and I know you're sitting with in peace because you got the memo. Go get dressed up for the show. How's this quote land on you? Let chaos be your classroom and may peace be your proof of concept. How's it land on you?
Oh boy. Well, first I want to say Grand Rising, everybody. And Brian, I really got to give it out to what you said. It was so dear. It was so straight on. It was basically similar to what I think, except I did pick up some very, very important points from you. I'm going to go into old man mode to talk with a story. In the Navy, riding submarines, I really got the idea that chaos was our business. In fact, we carried this little sign, chaos are us. But on the Los Angeles class submarine, the berthing for the chiefs is all the way forward. All the chief petty officers are all the way forward, and we consider ourselves the point of the spear on board LA class nuclear submarines. And there was a short time we got away with it, where we made up a new sign for the entrance to the chief's quarters, which we call the goat locker on board submarines. It was simply Chaos LLC. In other words, when the crap was about to hit the fan, you knew where to go. And through those doors, you would find the answer to whatever chaotic problem you had within those 12 to 16 senior chief petty officers on board that ship. We just basically accept the fact that chaos will find us. We don't need to go looking for it. Chaos will find us. And all we need to do is correct it. All we need to do is get to the other side of it. And it got to the point to where people simply expected the impossible. I mean, like they would come with problems and situations with the thought that, nobody's going to fix it, but at least I went to the people who could at least hear my sad story. And the answer would always be, no problem, we got this. And that person would leave in complete amazement. And then within a very short time, the problem's corrected, the problem's fixed. The services have always had senior enlisted. The Army's got their sergeants and Air Force and all that. But the Navy had chief petty officers. And there is a saying within chief petty officers, we don't necessarily make the rules, we'll make sure you follow the rules, but when it comes down to it, we'll invent a rule to make this thing work. And it simply became the way we got things done. Chaos was our business. We were Chaos LLC. And the whole idea was, bring us your problem and we'll return you a solution. Simple as that. I sat across from a fireman a little while back at the city center in Lowell, and we got into the conversation to where he is a fireman, me as a serviceman, run into fires. No one else does that. We run into fires knowing there's chaos, but also seeking a solution to that particular problem, that particular chaos. And in that, I just felt like that was me. I felt like that was what I was here for. Simply take that chaos, and I don't seek chaos. I don't go out and cause chaos, but I see that as a situation that has to be resolved. And as simple as that. That's the way that quote hit me.
All right. And chaos is about choice and outcome. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to ask Otis to give us the quote this morning, give you a chance to take out a pen and paper and take notes. Hopefully that when this man pops off a couple of acronyms, you'll be able to catch up or spell check or whatever you need to do. But before we introduce Dr. Stan, Mr. Dr. Breakthrough, we're going to go ahead and let Otis deliver the quote for all of our new listeners.
Chaos be your classroom, and peace your proof of concept.
Again, Dr. Stan, happy birthday, my brother. From all of us, this is your family on Motivational Sundays. How's this quote land on you?
Hey, hey, hey. Well, peace, breakthrough, and divine increase on this Sunday, capital S, capital O, capital N day. And good to be here with your friends. And yes, it's my birthday, 65, not years old, 65 years wise. And anyway, so blessed to have all my grown children flying in town to surprise me. And just having a great day yesterday and today. And now I get to be with my friends here on Motivational Sunday. So thank you, Kevin. And thank you for each and every one of you. Thank you, Dr. K, for the rendition of the birthday song. I feel blessed. Okay. So by the way, as of today, and I woke up thanking God, it's my 23,744th day on God's wake up list. They tell me there's about 150,000 people that didn't wake up, but you and we were on the wake up list. And so I'm grateful for that this morning. I also had approximately 547,062,000 free breaths, each one a gift from God. And the government hasn't figured out how to tax us on those yet, right? And so anyway, and then 99 I've got to practice so far, 6,036 days of breakthrough love, which is a love committed to breaking through any barrier that would try to hinder our success. And we think about the quote today, you got to learn that there's chaos in life, but we have to, I should say, relearn how to respond because the chaos could be chaos and be worse, or it could turn into something, as we've been talking about, a blessing and so forth. Like even the scripture says, it's good for me that I've been afflicted that I might learn thy statutes or precepts. So it seems like when you're in that midst of a hard time, a storm, by the way, my acronym for storm, Kevin, something that only remains momentarily. See, storms don't come to last, storms come to pass. But the reason they last with most people, because they curse the storm, they rehearse the storm, they nurse the storm. But what we ought to do is give it to God, let Him reverse it. And so, anyway, so one of the things I've been really working on, so that and that midst of that chaos, like I said, having that peace, and of course, Isaiah 26:3, that will keep him in perfect peace whose mind is stayed on thee. And so we learn to keep our mind stayed on the Lord, because the name of the Lord is a strong tower. The righteous runneth into it and is safe. So we talk about having peace in the midst of a storm. And how can you have that? Because you know the one, when your lifeguard walks on water, you don't have anything to be upset and taken up back. And besides that, you want to get out of your emotion. So this is something I've really been working on, because one of my wife's favorite phrases for many years was always, baby, just breathe. Right? I always call Brian the silent assassin. He's kind of like super quiet, and all of a sudden, bam, right? Me, I'm like, and so I've been working on this though, so I can continue to have this piece of this proof of concept and have the calmness instead of creating even more chaos. And that is this: calmness is my new superpower. Calmness is the ability to break through overreacting and taking everything personally. It keeps my mind clear and my heart at peace. It keeps my ego in check so I can properly prosper and not regret what I thought, said, and or did. And so those times of chaos, you got to really take that deep breath and just kind of calm down and realize nothing can happen to me without God's permission. Fear, Fear, forgetting everything's all right. I mean, Job, no, he can't even touch you. Satan can't touch you unless God gives the permission, and also has a turnaround. So by the time Satan's done what he did, God did what he did. Job 42:10, Job had twice as much, so double for his trouble. So you can have peace in the midst of a storm. You can have peace and turn that chaos again into peace, because you know this is coming out for my good. So I close with this. One of the things that I say every day, because Murphy was eating me up years ago, everything bad that can happen will happen, and it will happen at the worst possible time. I don't know Murphy, don't like his law. I don't like the way it was affecting my life. So I came up with my own law. And that is, everything good that can happen will happen, and it will happen at the best possible time, even though I may not recognize it at that time. And by the way, usually I don't. But now, because of faith, the last scripture I'll give you, it says, many are the afflictions of the righteous, but the Lord delivereth them out of them all. So I was talking to somebody yesterday, and your mature seasons of life, you just learn to laugh, and you learn to say, okay, if I got afflictions, if I got chaos, if I got whatever now, he's bringing me out. I'm going to learn something. I'm coming out better. So let me just have that faith and learn the lesson. So God bless you. It's breakthrough time.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, when you listen to everything that these wonderful, highly intelligent people have shared with you, I'm taking the ties that bind. You control what you have control over, and not be controlled with things that you can't control. So I'm going to ask one of uh, one of the guys that actually, he's the reason why we even started the show, Mr. Naheem Garcia. And again, I apologize for not introducing you at the top of the show. Hopefully, I'm making up for it now. But because of the conversation we had based on interpretation perspectives, we were talking about these quotes that I had created from the contents of my books, and didn't realize it was all about me, and it wanted to be about you and everybody else. And Naheem came up we had this idea, and look at what we have right now. All these wonderful, beautiful people, and they're highly intelligent people. Who would have known that Kevin McLemore would be sitting in front of people with initials in front of their name? All right. So, um, Naheem, how's this quote land on you?
First of all, peace, everyone. And second of all, Dr. Breakthrough, if they don't know how to tax us, they will if they keep listening to the way you crack these numbers out. My goodness, man. What a breakdown. It's a beautiful way, a beautiful poetic way to think about growth and learning. It falls on me and I think about the embracing of uh, messy and unpredictable natures of life as a place where we do our deepest learning while using the moments of peace and clarity as evidence that's making progress. That's one of the things that I was thinking about. But I also think about if it wasn't for wrong, I wouldn't know what right is. And sometimes you need that chaos. That chaos kind of gives you the lesson that you need. And your graduation is that peace. But you don't get there easy. It's work. You sweat equity, and a lot of faith. Faith in yourself. Because we say we got faith in God, but God made you, right? So you got to have faith in yourself because you're the satellite. God is the source, but you're the satellite. And it's your job to be able to maneuver through various chaotic moments. Because if you don't go through hard times, you will never know what it is to have a good time. Just won't. So it's that simple, that easy. And peace.
That's all right. That's all right. He's got a great voice. I hope
Well,
you
tell
guys.
somebody, give me a job.
Well, for all those people that are aspiring actors, this man dozens of films, being with Sandra Bullock, Denzel Washington. Um, I can name a lot of people that you've been with, Sam Jackson and all these other people. This is Naheem Garcia. Okay, he's our thespian on there and dropping some wisdom for each and every last one of you. Now, again, I hope you still have your pen and paper handy, but I want you to sit back and just listen before you start taking a note because Larnez is a writer for sport. She has a column over there in the Bronx and over there in the East Coast, New York, and she is killing it. So I'm going to make sure that my production team always has and shares her information with you so you guys can follow her and share because she is doing the do over there. So Otis, quote for the day.
For the day, let chaos be your classroom and peace be your proof of concept.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, buckle up. All right, pull back your tray tables, sit back, and pay freaking attention. Barnez, how's this quote land on you?
Well, grand rising, everyone. Lovely seeing all the faces that I miss so much. This quote. So, to me, this quote is like therapy, spirituality, and common sense all rolled in one. First, I want to just say, I believe, right? I believe there's only two moments in your life that you really remember, right? And those are scar moments and star moments. The scar moments, that's the chaos, the heartbreak, the betrayal, the what the hell is going on in my life chapters, right? The star moments, that's the peace, the clarity, the breakthroughs, the wins, the moments you feel like your spirit is actually breathing. But let me get into this quote now. Let chaos be your classroom. What that is saying is stop acting shocked when life throws you a plot twist. Chaos is not a mistake, it's a part of your education. Chaos is where you learn what you won't tolerate from anyone, who's really in your corner, what boundaries you absolutely need, how strong you actually are, and what patterns you've outgrown. Chaos pulls up like a teacher that don't smile till November. Tough, uncomfortable, but absolutely necessary. It's the scar moments that teach you what you didn't want to learn, but you definitely needed. And peace being your proof of concept. Now, this is the part that people like to sleep on. Peace isn't quiet. Peace is evidence. Peace is receipts. It's the moment in your life that says, I took the lesson, I did the work, and baby, I understand the assignment. Your peace is the star moment that confirms you didn't repeat the cycle. You didn't lose yourself. You didn't settle. You healed past the chaos and you grew into someone wiser, calmer, and more aligned. Peace is not accidental. Peace is proof of concept. Your this is what the lesson produced moment. So, in plain truth, the scar moments educate you. The star moments validate you. Chaos is your curriculum. Peace gives you the confirmation. And if you found one drop, one essence more of peace than you had before, that's not luck. That's growth. That's the assignment completed. And this is how this quote hit me. And just a little food for thought, I have a whole tattoo on my back that says, always remain calm in the chaos. And I'm going to end with that.
Come on now.
All right. Otis.
Well, no need to go to church this morning, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm going to say, Otis, you and I don't need to do anything today.
Keep it short.
Yeah, we don't have to do anything. Otis, well, ladies and gentlemen, when it gets to this point of the show, when Otis, the voice, and me, I don't know who I am today, we come to the end of the show. I just wanted to let you know, this is a masterclass in human emotion. This is a masterclass for social emotional learning. This is a gateway to returning to your faith because everyone here believes there is something other than us that drives us, that motivates us, that teaches us, that keeps us in line, and then inspires us to do more than what most other people do. So, Otis, if you don't mind, for the last time, giving us the quote, and based on your perspectives and interpretation, how's this quote land on you?
We have let chaos be your classroom and peace your concept of proof. When you look at this literally, for those of you that are much younger, I'm going to give you a film to look at. Look at To Sir with Love with Sidney Poitier, where he's literally in a classroom and he has to relate to his students that created chaos in his life. Me personally, look at a situation with your friends and family and you got a heated argument. That's time to walk away, go into your peace, think it over, and come back and resolve the situation and find a mutual agreement. And that's how it landed on me.
Boy, not one of you made it easier on me today. Gilda, Chris, Larnez, Naheem, K-Mac, Dr. Ferguson, Dr. Stan, Brian Roberts, nor PJ. You didn't make it easy. I mean, how do I follow this? Right? This is like, having one song that you've written and find out that you got to follow Prince or Michael Jackson. Who wants to hear me? But anyway, I don't have a lot to say, but I will say this. This quote challenges us to rethink how we view the storms in our life. Chaos is not the enemy, as many of my friends have said. It is the education, it's the educator, the teacher of discipline, emotional maturity, patience, resilience, and also strength. Peace is the evidence that the lessons that we've learned in chaos has taken root. Peace gives us maturity. It is the proof that you are no longer reactive to the way that you thought before the chaos came. I say the teacher is not punishment. Growth really happens when you're comfortable. Emotional control is built inside the storm. Peace is the proof of what you've learned in the lessons while you are living through this. Chaos reveals the healing within you. It, Brian said it earlier, master the chaos, and then you master yourself. These does not mean that life will ever be perfect for any of us. It means that you're evolving. The goal isn't to avoid chaos. The goal is to grow through the chaos. To my family, as you walk into this week, which is coming the holidays for Thanksgiving and soon to be Christmas, we know that emotionally the risk of suicides, especially in Black men, are high. I'm going to ask you to shift how you see chaos. Don't run from it. Don't fear it. Let chaos be the classroom and embrace life. Let it teach you. Let it stretch you. As people say, iron sharpens iron. Let it sharpen you. And you show up as a better made person than you were the day that you were struggling in the chaos. Because when it comes to the other side, life is calmer. You become wiser, like many of my guests today. Like Brian said, he can multitask. That means he's stronger. It's like PJ said, the peace that you feel is proof of the concept. And what everyone else has echoed, the evidence is the growth beyond what broke you. You're not broken. There's just a missing piece that you find in your heart that someone or something will fill one day. You just have to remember, all right? Let chaos teach you, all right? Let peace confirm your transformation. Um, and then let your growth speak loudly. This is Kevin. I believe in each and every last one of you. And I want you to get through this holiday. If you have an Uncle Dwight, Uncle Dwayne, Uncle Charles, or whatever, give them a hug, either in this life or the next life. Enjoy and be grateful for the days to come and for the moment that you have. If you like what you've heard, go to RMK Productions and Network on our YouTube page, and you can subscribe and comment. If you'd like to be a guest, we're probably the only podcast that allows you to come on the show. And, I cannot thank my friends, my co-hosts, Brian Roberts, uh, Katrina Ferguson, Dr. Ferguson, Dr. Stan, Curtis, Ronez, Gilda, and Chris, and PJ Scott. I can't thank you guys enough for every single Sunday showing up. Not only do you make me laugh, you make me feel loved. You reconnect me with my faith, especially in faith in mankind, because I was starting to doubt it with all this crap that was going on. I uh, I was looking for those people that wanted life to be fair for everyone and not be manipulated for profit. But you guys have rekindled that faith in human beings. I have nothing against being successful, making profit or whatever, but I don't support when your success is on the chest or the throat of someone else that's trying to get up there too. So, with that said, until next week, my grandfather always said, when you get to a point in life that you can help someone else out, and all these people are givers. All right, even though they have greatness in them, and you see the many gifts that God has given them, they are givers. And my grandfather said, when you get to a place in life that you can help someone else out, he said it's your duty to do so. And I'm going to tell you, Stan's going to find that quote someplace in the Bible and deliver it for us. So he said, reach one, teach one. And with that said, we what?
Fade to black.
Make sure you come back.
Until next week, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming and being part of our family going through the holidays with Motivational Sundays with Kevin and Friends. And we're out.